Welcome back. In this session, we tackle a concept that takes a few minutes to grasp but unlocks an enormous amount of power once it clicks, the MCP protocol. By the end of this video, you will know what MCP is, why it matters, and how it lets your Claude Code reach almost any tool your team uses. Let's begin. Here is the reality of modern software work. Your code lives in GitHub, your tickets are in Jira, your discussions are in Slack, your documents are in Google Drive, your metrics are in Grafana, your customer data is in Postgres database, and on and on. An AI assistant that only sees your code repository is solving half the problem at best. To be very useful, Claude needs to reach into all of these systems. But how? Without writing custom integrations for every single one, how? And here is the answer. MCP, the Model Context Protocol, is the USB-C of AI tools. One open standard, speak it once, plug into anything. MCP defines exactly how AI assistants and external systems talk to each other, what messages they send, what tools they expose, what data they return. Anthropic published MCP as an open specification, which means anyone can build a tool that works with it. And any AI client, not just Claude, can consume it. That's the part that matters. It's an open standard and the ecosystem around it is growing very fast. Let's look at this picture. Claude Code is your client. It only speaks one language, MCP, which is a universal protocol. On the right hand side, you have all your tools, GitHub, Slack, Jira, Postgres, each running an MCP server. They each speak MCP as well. The protocol in the middle handles the translation. Claude doesn't need a custom integration for each tool. It just needs to know how to speak MCP, and any tool that speaks MCP back becomes available. This is why it's exploding. Build once, plug in everywhere. An MCP server gives Claude three kinds of capabilities in a standardized form. First one is tools. These are the actions Claude can take. For example, create an issue, send a Slack message, query the database. Second is the resources. These are the pieces of data Claude can pull in for context. For example, files, records, query results. And the third is prompts. These are the template instructions the server can offer Claude, like a starting point for common workflows. That's all there to it. Now let's look at some ways how you can add a MCP server. This is a sample configuration file. Each entry defines one server. You give it a name. You tell Claude how to launch it, usually a single command, and you pass any environment variable it needs, like an authentication token. Save the config, restart the Claude Code, and the new tools appear automatically in your session. No code to write, no SDK to learn, just configuration. And if you want this server available in every project, put it in your user settings. If it's only for this repository, drop it in a .mcp.json in your repository file. And here is the best part. You probably don't have to build an MCP server yourself. There are already hundreds of them covering nearly every major tool you can think of. For example, GitHub, GitLab, Slack, Jira, Google Drive, Notion, Postgres. Most teams find the servers they need on day one. Just find one, drop it into your config, and the Claude Code gains an entire new capability. Now, let's be mindful about security. An MCP server is a real program running on your machine with whatever credential you hand it. So treat it like any other dependency. So let's look at some of the do's and don'ts. Install only from trusted sources. Read what tools the server exposes before you enable it. Use scope tokens, not your most powerful credentials. Review permissions before approving sensitive actions. And don't paste random server configs from the internet without reading them, without vetting them. Don't give servers access to secrets they don't need. And don't ever run a server with root or admin credentials. Trust but verify. So when does it make sense to build your own MCP server? When the system you want Claude to talk to is internal, your company's homegrown ticketing system, for example, your private dataset system, a custom internal API. Anthropic publishes SDKs in Python, TypeScript, and many other languages, and most servers come together in just few hundred lines of code. Once you build it, every Claude in your organization can use it. The investment can compound. Now let's do the recap of what we learned in this session. 3 things to remember about MCP. First is it's an open protocol, the universal connector between Claude and external tools. Second, MCP servers give Claude 3 things: tools, meaning actions, resources, that is data, and prompts is a template. Third, adding a server takes one config block. Hundreds of servers already exist for tools you use today. MCP is the bridge that turns Claude Code from a coding assistant into a complete workplace assistant. In the next video, we'll look at agent skills, the next layer up from the / commands. Skills let you teach Claude the entire workflow, complete with their own files, scripts, and instructions. See you next time.